110 kilometres from Taiwan. That's how close Japan is about to place its missiles. Is it defence or is it provocation? In the most volatile corner of the Pacific, Japan is done playing it safe, and she won't be silent for too long. The fuse has been lit. The question is, how long is it? Japan's decision to deploy surface-to-air missiles on Yonaguni Island by March 2031 signals a significant shift in regional security dynamics and deepening tensions with China. Yonaguni sits just over 110 kilometres from Taiwan, putting Tokyo's air defences closer to the self-ruled island than ever before, and marking the first time the Japanese government has publicly set a timeline for such a deployment. The move centres on Japan's plan to install Type-03 Chū SAM medium-range surface-to-air guided missiles, a Japanese-designed system capable of intercepting aircraft and ballistic threats. These weapons, developed by Mitsubishi Electric and Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, have been in service since 2003 and are a key pillar of the Japan Ground Self-Defense Force's layered air defense network. Yonaguni, which already hosts a Japan Self-Defense Forces facility, lies 100 kilometres from Taiwan, and residents fear that they could quickly become caught up in a military confrontation in the region. Tokyo's Defense Minister Shinjiro Koizumi said the deployment would depend on progress in building the necessary facilities on Yonaguni, where a self-defense force base already exists.
We are planning fiscal 2030 for this deployment.
This announcement comes against the backdrop of a bitter 2025-2026 China-Japan diplomatic crisis, sparked by remarks from Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi suggesting Tokyo might invoke collective self-defense should China use force against Taiwan.
Our intention is to strengthen our defense capabilities to protect the lives and peaceful livelihoods of our citizens in the face of the most severe and complex security environment since the end of World War II.
Beijing responded with trade restrictions and heightened rhetoric, accusing Japan of provocative behaviour, a charge Tokyo has rejected. China has criticised Japan's missile plans, characterising the initiative as a deliberate effort to create regional tension and provoke military confrontation. However, Japan has insisted that the measures are necessary to deter potential threats and safeguard its territory. The missile deployment reflects a broader trend in Tokyo's strategic approach, including increased defense spending and moves to acquire counter-strike capabilities previously constrained by Japan's post-war pacifist constitution. The Type-03 surface-to-air missile systems are part of this effort, enhancing air defences on Japan's southwestern islands amid rising Chinese military activity, particularly near Taiwan and in the East China Sea. Beijing's unease is not limited to the missile plan. The ongoing territorial dispute over the Senkaku Islands further complicates relations, with both Japan and China asserting sovereignty over the uninhabited archipelago in the East China Sea. While Tokyo maintains its actions are defensive, the deployment of missiles so close to Taiwan represents a notable escalation in Japan's military posture in the Indo Pacific. As regional powers navigate an increasingly fraught security landscape, the Yonaguni Plan is likely to be viewed as a significant development in the strategic balance between Japan, China, and the broader alliance network, including the United States. Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi used her first major policy speech to Parliament following a landslide election victory to warn of escalating Chinese coercion and to outline an ambitious overhaul of Tokyo's defense and security posture. The address on February 20, 2026, underscored Japan's deepening concerns about regional threats and marked a significant shift in Tokyo's strategic outlook amid intensifying tensions with Beijing. Takaichi, who took office just 4 months earlier, framed her remarks as a response to what she described as rising pressure from China in the East and South China Seas. With her ruling coalition now commanding a supermajority in the lower house, she signaled broad support for tougher measures aimed at strengthening Japan's defense capabilities and economic resilience.
China is strengthening efforts to change the current situation by force or coercion in the East China Sea and the South China Sea, and is expanding and activating military activities around our country. North Korea continues to pursue the improvement of its missile capabilities. Russia's invasion of Ukraine is still ongoing. North Korea has dispatched troops to Russia, and there is a risk that Russian missile-related technology will be transferred from Russia. China is strengthening military cooperation with Russia. In addition, foreign trade and security guarantees are spreading to new areas such as space, cyberspace, and cognitive areas.
This stark warning set the tone for her policy agenda, which includes revising Japan's core security documents to produce a new defense strategy and accelerating plans to expand military exports. Tokyo currently limits defense sales to non-lethal equipment, but Takaichi's government has proposed easing those restrictions, opening the door to a wider range of overseas defense contracts. Her comments reflect growing anxiety in Tokyo about Beijing's expanding military footprint, closer ties between China and Russia, and North Korea's advancing nuclear capabilities. Japan's defense spending, already on a path to double to roughly 2% of gross domestic product by March, will continue to rise under her leadership as Tokyo seeks to modernize its armed forces. Beyond military modernization, Takaichi highlighted steps to enhance Japan's strategic autonomy. Her administration announced plans to establish a National Intelligence Council, chaired by the Prime Minister, to coordinate information across agencies. She also pitched a new framework to screen foreign investments in sensitive sectors and pledged to reduce reliance on specific countries by fortifying supply chains and securing critical materials. Economic security, in tandem with defense reforms, was a recurring theme. In the same parliamentary session, Takaichi unveiled broader economic initiatives designed to invigorate growth, including shifting away from strict fiscal austerity and supporting long-term investment in industries such as semiconductors and artificial intelligence. International reactions have been mixed. Beijing has criticized Tokyo's tougher rhetoric and policy orientation, viewing it as a challenge to regional stability. As Tokyo positions itself more assertively on the world stage, Takaichi's leadership is reshaping both Japan's defense doctrine and its economic strategy. With a commanding political mandate and rising regional risks, her government is pushing through reforms that could redefine Japan's role in a rapidly changing Indo Pacific security environment.